Hi, everyone. Welcome to, if it's your first time, or more likely, welcome back to Taking the Lead. I'm your host, Ken Jacobs, as most of you know, and I am the principal of Jacobs Consulting and Executive Coaching. We often interview leaders on Taking the Lead, but today I just want to share some of my thoughts that I think and I hope will help you and bring value to you. So, the leadership topic today is resilience. And many research scientists and leadership experts think that the key, the difference, the differentiator between success or failure today, between those who can get through a crisis or can lead their teams more effectively during turbulent times. Is it intelligence? Is it experience? Is it resources? Well, those research scientists and leadership experts believe the key differentiator is resilience. Research shows that resilient leaders don't just survive challenges and crises and turbulent times, but they can actually create competitive advantage from them. Would you believe that? So let's look a little bit at the environment. Today, 65% of leaders are experiencing symptoms of burnout, which is not just stress, it's something different. And then that leads to decreased productivity, absenteeism, higher turnover rates within their teams, that the burnout symptoms in their organizations. On the positive side, those who receive leadership coaching, something like 85% of them outperform their peers in critical skills like resiliency and initiatives or programs that drive a resilient workplace. They can increase productivity. They can lower healthcare costs, lower absenteeism, and decrease turnover. So I hope you're starting to believe in the importance of resilience for leaders. Well, maybe we should define it. What is resilience? What is leadership resilience? One definition is the ability to cultivate agility, adaptability, and foresight to thrive amidst adversity. And many clients are telling me they're really experiencing adversity today. And think about this, it's not just about bouncing back, it's bouncing forward. So, what are some of the key components of leadership resilience? Well, it could be emotional regulation under pressure. We've talked about the importance here of EQ and emotional intelligence, EI, adaptive thinking when things don't go the way you expect, team stabilization during uncertainty, and just being so focused on your vision, so focused on your vision. And these are all reinforcements of things we've talked about today. Let me share a personal story, a personal example. Many of you know that a lot of our clients are in the PR agency space, PR, corporate comms, marketing, not exclusively, but most of them. And, 2023 and the beginning of 2024 were not great times for the industry performance wise. In full candor, did that have an impact on me? Sure. Q1 sucked eggs. Unfortunately, Q2 and Q3 are much better. And I think I was really resilient. I survived a number of economic downturns. I kept telling myself, this too shall pass. I did a lot of the things I'm going to talk about today, and I really think it's what helped get me through. So let's go a little deeper. Why resilience is so critical now in 2025. Here's a quote that may shine a light. It's from Bob Rosen, an organizational psychologist. The world is changing faster than our ability to adapt. Adapting ourselves quickly becomes the catalyst for high performance. And I think we can agree that that is so true today. What are some current realities? Well, economic volatilities, and I talked about the downturn that affected me, rapid technological change, who can keep up? Um, Workforce expectations shifting. There's a discussion of AI replacing entry level workers, perhaps, and other repetitive tasks. So it's tough out there, and I empathize with that. But what happens if we don't have resilient leadership? And you know me, I'm not big on talking about the negative or fear, but I think there's a certain reality that we can face. There's workplace stress right now, and that's correlated with high levels of depression, anxiety, burnout. Team performance suffers when you, as a leader, can't adapt. And, what happens to innovation if you, as a leader, become reactive rather than proactive? And obviously, resiliency, I believe, is tied to being proactive, or maybe more likely, being proactive is tied to being resilient. Leave me some comments. You tell me. But let's go on to something more positive, which is the benefits of resilient leadership, the business benefit of resilient leadership. Well, it affects everyone on your team. It affects you as a leader. If you have a higher sense of resilience, you're going to feel and perform better, regardless of that work environment. And that is true of your people. Resilient individuals, whether it's you, your leaders in training, or even those under them, right, that need to be resilient, isn't just at the top. Not at all, not today. Resilient individuals are shown to have strong problem solving skills. And that, I think, is a critical need. And I think part of it, when you have those problem solving skills and a certain energy, um, you approach obstacles as opportunities. You see failures as steps along the way to success. It's about growth. It's, as you've heard me say before, well beyond when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. It's about being excited and invigorated when things don't go the way you'd planned. If you're resilient and your team's more resilient, you have a more positive outlook. And that's a good thing. So that's sort of specifics to individual performance. But let's look at the impact on your organization of when there's resiliency there with you, your leaders in training, and everyone there. Increased productivity, better retention, which, even though I know right now, I think there are more people looking for work than jobs. As managers and leaders, don't lose sight of the critical need to hold on to your best people. So retention is important. Innovation, we mentioned before. And if you're in a client-facing business, like many of my clients are, it leads to improved client relationships. And that helps you help your clients through tough times. Resiliency helps you help your clients through tough times. And that, I believe, can lead to improved client relationships. And even in this environment, improved budgets. Okay. Let's talk more about, I guess, the pillars of resilient leadership. Number one, self-awareness. Know thyself. Know when you're going into stress, or as an energy coach, I would call it catabolic energy. Those of you I've coached, level 1 and 2, you know what I'm talking about. Understand the people and the situations to which you respond with stress or catabolic energy. And boy, now is the time to know your values, stick to your values, reiterate your values, repeat your values. When you give assignments, tie it back to the organizational values. When you give constructive feedback, if you want that feedback to be truly constructive, and you really want to create performance change, behavioral change, tie it back to your values. So it all gets back to knowing yourself as a leader. Another pillar of resilience is adaptability. When you're adaptable, when they're adaptable, they can quickly adjust to new circumstances, unexpected changes. It happens so often today, more often, I think, than a few years back. And again, learning from failure, not being paralyzed by it. Pillar 3 of resiliency is connection, maintaining strong relationships, especially during a crisis. Communicate transparently with your team, transparently, more frequently, get to the point of transparency. Transparency, but never let them see you sweat, but let them see everything else. And we'll do a whole segment on transparency if we haven't. And then building your support networks. And finally, purpose-driven focus. Keep that mission statement in mind, keep the purpose in mind, especially during setbacks. Making decisions based on that long-term vision, it's the long-term play. And finally, walk the walk, don't just talk the talk. Inspire others by modeling that commitment to shared values. Don't ask them to do anything you wouldn't do. It feels like this merits a part 2, so we'll do that maybe in a few weeks or a month. But in the meantime, if you'd like to reach out to talk about leadership, leadership coaching, the impact it could have on your life, if you're struggling with anything, or if you just think you can do better as a leader, even in these times, or perhaps you're doing great, but you want to build your resiliency, please contact me. You've heard me say it before, ken@jacobscom.com. Again, that's ken@jacobscom.com. And as we always say, until next time, keep on taking the lead.